Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today I wanted to give you an updated version of how to run Trenbolone. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to everybody out there supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, comment, any interaction with the channel. It helps the channel to grow, and it's going to allow me to produce more and more content for you each and every day. Also, today's video is sponsored by our friends at letsgetchecked.com. Now, letsgetchecked.com specializes in at-home blood testing. All you have to do is go to their website, pick out whatever tests that you want to get. They have it all for men and women. They've got wellness tests, full hormonal tests. Chances are, if you want it, it's there. Pick out whatever you want, order it. They're going to ship it directly to you. All you have to do when you get your package is register the testing kit online, provide the sample, ship it right back. You're going to get your results extremely fast. They're going to give them to you right online and notify you. And then there's doctors and nurses there that can help you if you have any questions or concerns. So it's fast, it's easy, it's reliable. Letsgetchecked.com. And as a gift to you, use coupon code Gemelli30, save yourself 30% off your entire order. All right, so I made a video that many of you have probably seen, and many of you probably have not, and it's a couple years old now, and it was me discussing how to run Trenbolone. So what I want to do is things like that, especially, those need to be freshened up or updated, and so I like to do that every now and then and just kind of revisit it. And you know, things change over time and things that I observe, and some things stay the same, and that's why it's important that you update things. And, you know, or like, for instance, some of my lists, when I list the strongest or my favorites or whatever, something new comes out or something changes or, you know, a new piece of information. And anytime I've ever been wrong about something, I'm the first one to come out and tell you I was wrong and tell you why and what made me, you know, think that or whatever. I mean, all the factors. It's important to have credibility, and no human is perfect and no human knows everything. Just remember that. All right, so, and the people that admit it, you know, are the ones that at least I look at and go, okay, well, he's not full of shit. But that, once again, that's up to you to decide. So, let's talk about first your first time using Tren. Because there's a few different types that you could go with. Tren enanthate, which is the longer ester, Tren acetate, which is the shorter ester, or then there's Tren hex, which nobody needs to even be thinking about on their first time. It's just so think Sustanon, where it's a blend of different testosterone esters, well, different Trenbolone esters. Now, what I always recommend is on your first time with Tren, you use Tren acetate. This is pretty common recommendation. I mean, this has never changed, at least as far as I've been around this. Everybody's kind of been on the same wavelength and understanding with that for the most part, and it's a very simple reason why. So when you run Tren enanthate, it's a longer ester, so the half-life is a lot longer, and it's going to be in your system a lot longer. So, you know, for instance, I have a video coming out of my experiences with Tren. One of the times I used Tren, I had night sweats to the max. One of the worst experiences in terms of like just the annoying side effects. It's one, like, it's not like the most damning thing in the world. It's not going to really hurt you on, you know, but man, is it just annoying and uncomfortable, right? And the problem that I had with that was when I stopped using Tren, I was using Tren enanthate, and it wasn't out of my system for damn near 3 weeks. So even though I was done, it was like still happening. I just remember when I finally had that first night with, I was just relieved, and I was like, okay, it's finally gone. With Tren acetate, you use Tren for the first time, and let's just say you are just, like, for instance, I talk about in my video, my first time with Tren, I had to stop. I couldn't do it. And I explain why in that video. I'm not going to repeat all of that. But if you need to stop, especially because it's doing something to you mentally, which Tren is known for, and if it's really bad, you need that out of your system fast. Well, with the short estered version with Tren acetate, it's going to probably be out of your system in 2 to 3 days, depending on how much you're dosing. And some people, you know, their metabolism's faster with burning it up, and that can happen. I find that to be, that's just one of those things that get tossed around as well. Everybody's a little different, but just know for the most part, you're looking in that 2 to 3 day window as opposed to several weeks. So you don't want to do that on your first time with it because you got to feel it out. You got to learn your body response, see how it agrees, disagrees, play with the dosing, check your blood panels. You don't want to get into something like Tren that can have so many negative effects, and like I was saying, especially up here, and not be able to get it out of your system right away. I mean, I've seen some people do some craziness on Tren. You can read about some stories. Now, is everybody going to do that? No. Am I trying to scare you? No. But if I've seen it enough times, I'm definitely telling you it's possible. And I know firsthand the way that it can affect you mentally. So you want to stick with the short ester the first time. Do what you want, but it doesn't even make sense to go with the longer ester just because maybe you don't like to pin. Well, then don't use it. I mean, it's simple, or just suck it up and do it. It's pretty simple. You're already, if you're running a longer ester, you're already pinning twice a week, so make it 3. So you don't have to deal with the nonsense. Small sacrifices to avoid a lot of bullshit. So then that brings up cycle length, cycle dosing, stacks, things like that. I don't like running really any steroid without testosterone. There are people that will advocate running Tren on its own. I have some friends that I highly respect that recommend using Tren on its own and have great experiences, and we agree to disagree, and I have no issue with that because I am not going to sit up here and act like my way is the only way. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you it's not possible to use Tren by itself because it most certainly is. I know people that have done it with success. The reason I would tell you not to do it is because far, far, far more people are probably going to have a bad experience than a good one. So I'm playing the ratios there with my recommendation. And if I think something really outweighs the possibility of the other, I'm going to tell you not to do it because it's too risky. The numbers are not there. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not possible and that some people haven't done very well with it. I will not do that because that would be false. I'm just trying to be as protective as I can. So my recommendation is to always run it with test. Then that brings up the test to trend ratio that everybody will ask about. You're going to have a million differing opinions on that. Some people say run high trend, low test. Some people are just adamant that higher test will reduce side effects with lower trend. Here's what I do. I've talked about this. I don't go up or down. I keep them the same dose. That way, you have the best chance of avoiding one of these ups and downs that people are going through. Why, if there's so many people that recommend one and so many people recommend the other, falling right in the middle and making them even and average tends, in my experiences, to mitigate the side effects to the most. Some people will say, but you'd get a little more out of it this way. Yeah, but you could also have like 30 more problems that way. I would rather just avoid these things. So then that brings us to the dose. I say on your first time with Tren, 200 to 250 milligrams is plenty. And also run your test low. Run at 200, 250 because I'll tell you this. One, even Tren at that low of a dose is going to do a lot. It's only going to enhance the testosterone. And even though that's a lower dose of testosterone, you can still do something with it. All right? Ease into it. And don't get greedy. I got greedy the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm the king of the world. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks when I got greedy. Don't do that. If you do want to go up, go for it. But just ease into it. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to try to get every single possible humanly known gain out of the first time that you run it. You need to learn it. Learn your body response. Learn how to respect it properly. Learn, do I need more, estrogen protection, more prolactin protection? There's a lot that goes into there. See how your blood numbers work at certain doses and then with them in conjunction with each other. So then on your cycle lengths, if you've got the short estered version, if you got Tren acetate, 6 to 8 weeks. You could stretch it to 10. There's no reason. 6 to 8 weeks, boom, in and out. Avoid the side effects as much as possible and just get as much out of it as you can. That's the perfect scenario. Tren enanthate, I say 10 to 12 weeks. I ran it like a jerk one time for so long. So not smart to do. Cut it off at 12 weeks. There's no need to go any longer than that. There's not. My max dose of Tren that I recommend is 400. And that's for a very experienced user that knows they can tolerate it well, doesn't have aggression problems, that they're very fit, conditioned mentally and physically, and that's the max. So it would be 400 and 400 with test and trend. So I would always tend to keep it 6 to 8 weeks with a short ester, 10 to 12 weeks with a long ester. You could stretch it to 10 with the short ester. Never higher than 400 milligrams a week. I have a video out on steroids that are the best to stack with tren and the worst to stack with tren, and also a video that discusses why GW 501, 516 should be mandatory with tren. And I discuss, I shouldn't say mandatory, why it should be a staple of what you do, like why you should absolutely use it with tren, because there's several things that it does to help you with fighting off a lot of the problems tren can throw your way. So that's how you run tren, in my opinion, into the I hate to say the safest way, because tren is far from safe, but that's probably the safest way to run it. I'm not indicating that the compound itself is safe, but you can obviously be reckless with it and run it, in a way that's going to hurt you more, or you can cut that down to a minimum. And that's the way that I'm teaching you how to do it. So there you have it. That being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli signing off.